Nicodemus said to Jesus, "How can these things be?" And Jesus answers Nicodemus, "Are you a teacher of Israel, and yet you do not understand these things?" Have you ever wanted to go somewhere but was a little afraid of who might see you arriving or even departing? Sometimes we keep our loyalties and our interests and our questions just kind of hush hush or close at hand. Nicodemus, he's going to make three appearances in the Gospel of John, each to go along with the three occasions that Jesus makes a visit to Jerusalem. In his first appearance, it follows a story most of us associate with Holy Week. Jesus upending the tables in the temple and crying out against that usage of the temple as a marketplace. It's important to note that in John's gospel, and like the other three, this event happens early in Jesus' ministry rather than in the days before his arrest and his crucifixion. This event becomes the opening round of Jesus's ongoing conflict with all of those that are in authority. So no wonder Nicodemus comes to Jesus by night. Surely his colleagues among the religious leaders would not be very happy if they were to find out that Nicodemus has been going and consorting with this radical teacher. Nicodemus goes to find Jesus at night, a literal time of darkness when he can move through the streets without being seen. Nicodemus has a public reputation to protect. He is a teacher, a status that would go along with the power and authority that has also been given to him through the Sanhedrin. At the same time, Nicodemus, though, is taking a risk. And it's a huge risk coming to Jesus to make a claim in verse 2 when he says, "Rabbi," or "Teacher, we know that you are a teacher who has come from God, for no one can do these things, make these signs that you are doing apart from the presence of God." Nicodemus tries to establish himself as a friend, although it's a secretive friendship, by saying that he knows that Jesus is godly. Nicodemus puts himself out there, showing he thinks differently than all of his other companions, and perhaps thinking he has gone as far as he needs to go, but he does not fully understand, because Jesus is more than a teacher. In the rest of the passage, Jesus points to Nicodemus' limited grasp of who he is talking to. It comes as no surprise to those of us who have the ability to read ahead, because we have come to know that Jesus is indeed the Messiah. But Nicodemus is learning that fact in real time. Nicodemus will return a second time in chapter 7 during Jesus' second visit to Jerusalem, listening at the temple and reminding his colleagues to give Jesus a full hearing, to listen to his teaching and see if he really is on target. And then he comes back again in chapter 19. Nicodemus seen bringing spices for Jesus' burial. His understanding has grown immensely, and it has changed his life. If we had the chance for a hush-hush, heart-to-heart with Jesus, what would we say to show that we have an understanding of who Jesus is? And would we stay with Jesus after we find out that there's so much more to learn? What would we let go of in order to draw close to Jesus? And what would we risk in order to know Jesus better? You see, Jesus awaits a heart-to-heart with you. And this is the good news. Amen.